Welcome to Jadekind Gaming. My name is Adam, here with the 22nd session of the Planetary Fragments Dungeons & Dragons campaign. We have Austin as Yarock, we have Ryan as Rin, we have Bob as Yen.
Still Yin.
Yen, whatever.
It's every time.
Nick as Tana. You know what, at a certain point, I've changed your name, and you don't get a say.
That's fine, it's happened before.
Last time,
and Tana is Jimmy.
Yeah, it's Tana Jimmy.
Continued exploring the wizard's tower, pulling rings and junk out of a storage room, eating mystery fruit in the greenhouse, and going on a bit of a trip from it.
No, that's absinthe fruit. We've decided
Now it's only somewhat mysterious fruit.
Honestly, I might just start selling it.
Talking to one of the corpses of the wizards you had found. You discovered a room of suspended monsters, which seemed to start taking breath when you opened the door.
So shut the door and lock it.
Yeah,
And
we
hope
know
for the
right
best.
out there. Just, nope.
Tana was preparing to open the next door. I think the one before the top, the one that was basically an empty room from all appearances, because Rin had just used cheating vision to check through them.
To be fair, no one reaches out like 30 feet.
Only warlocks get it.
Well, at least you don't have any pinpoint accuracy casts. You have to target a person, not an area.
Yen is trying to decipher the ciphered book, and
There
Yarock
stands-
is halfway through awakening the fruit-bearing shrub.
Yeah, which, you know, I just kind of want to do because I think your world needs a sentient trip shrub. It's like, not super in character, but, you know, player override. This is happening.
So yeah,
Rule of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you clearly it's going to get out into the swamp above, and if anyone gets the book and plays through the setting, there is now a
sentient
absent
tree shrub.
shrub who has a desire to spread its joys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Make yourself the what is it?
Linguist check. I'm not capable of making it, is
But
what I
yeah, so
recall
we got
about
an
this check.
open
It's a
room
max of
and
26, and the
laboratory.
highest I can roll is 25.
Which I saw through the locked doors. Also paint up my last two corpses.
And since I'm reading, I can't even roll this guy because I was reading the entire time. Can I guidance it?
What do you mean you were reading the whole time, so you can't roll
I'm
that?
trying to cipher. Can I guidance my ciphering?
Sure.
I'm not capable of getting it. It doesn't matter. Oh,
No.
10. Yeah.
And you don't know what the actual DC is. You just know what the cap DC is.
Well, I rolled...
Assuming that the person that made the cipher was very intelligent and of a high level.
Yeah, I'm not capable of getting it.
Well, you don't know. Maybe the wizard that wrote it wasn't very intelligent or wasn't of a high level.
Yeah, I'm sure they're welcome into the magic tower of bullshit.
And so you were getting ready to unlock a door, and I think he just said something while I was talking.
He said paint the thing's faces with, more glue after this.
Okay, so you opened the door first?
Yeah.
We were just talking about the doors.
The band?
On the assumption that not more than an hour has passed since we talked with that the first time.
It has now passed after that.
Okay, so that was after this, or
Yeah.
Okay. So sometime.
Time to take more drugs, my dude.
So we're going to the laboratory?
No, we're
Open
unlocking this door.
The open room or the laboratory?
There's
There's
one-
two locked doors.
Oh,
Which one?
You said the next one last time, which I presume is the open room, since that is
Okay.
the not. Because you have checked all from the bottom up now, except for the top two. So I assume next is the next one in that line.
Okay.
so 14 plus what is that? No.
Check what's in here.
13. 28.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, I've gotten in the 20s before on these locks and it hasn't cracked, so.
So you open the door and it is first glance, just a wide open room.
At first glance. Dun,
It's
dun,
like-
dun.
Thinking it's like, you're
Stone
willing to
floors, stone walls.
take 10 minutes for me to cast Detect Magic, or.
I don't have any ability to cast it at will.
Well, I do, but it'll take 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's like, I did not know if you're like, no, you gotta go now. It's like, actually cast the spell. So I take 10 minutes and.
Do you sit on this sort of platform outside the room and do that?
Yeah.
There is.
I'd like to do something while he's doing it.
Sure.
From the entrance to the doorway, I use Divine Sense. So, to see if there are any undead or fiends or celestials within 60 feet of the entrance.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it.
So you take your time, and you see that there is, it's about a 10-foot circle in the middle of this wide open room, just sort of an area on the ground that is magical in the middle of the room.
Nothing spooky about that.
Stand up on my tiptoes. Can I see runes carved into the floor?
Yeah, there's some sort of design carved with some sort of colorful thing that's like literally inset down into the stone.
I forget, did we just remember if Teleport Circle was something any of our classes could
It
cast?
doesn't. It's arcane only.
Yep, arcane only.
I did not know if Cleric could theoretically get it.
I don't know. Maybe through like some of the Mystic Arcanums.
Yeah.
Our cleric's got some abilities to pull other stuff.
Bard, Sorcerer, Wizard. Let's see, other people who could potentially get it. Arcana Clerics.
That's what I was thinking.
Arcana
Yeah.
Rogues.
That's exactly what I was like, which book is the magic cleric in? Because that would be the only one I could
Yeah,
imagine.
Eldritch Knights.
I thought we weren't allowed to have arcana cleric anyway.
Horizon Walker Rangers. Yeah.
I don't believe I was allowed to say anything about clerics, so that would have been.
Yeah, no, it
No,
was
because I could have sworn I wanted to do something like that at one point, and it was like you can't do that. That's not a magic system that exists in this world.
No, there were no restrictions on the arcane class stuff for the divine casters.
I'm just telling you what I was told. I might have been being obnoxious at the time, though, so
It might
could
not have
be
been-
my fault.
It might not have been no to that class. It might have been no to your idea.
I mean, there is
Because you're.
a better than fair chance I was being annoying.
like, go ahead and
I don't know.
search the
I
ground
think you
up
would
to it,
have
making sure there's no
wanted to be a
traps,
forge
but
cleric.
then look at it and
Well, I mean, I've been a forge player.
knowledge arcana
Isn't
to
that
try
what
to
you are
figure
right
out
now?
what
Yeah,
these symbols
and I
mean.
was last game. It wasn't my first thought.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I get yelled at if I play the same character too many times in a row.
You're not as bad as Rob.
Well,
18.
the fun thing is that it started because I was always niche filling, and everyone else was playing pretty much the same thing, or they were switching roles, and I just wound up with the same one every time because no one wanted to be the rogue. So I kept having to be the rogue.
You don't need a rogue.
It's some sort of inset design, some permanency, some spell here, but not one that you're familiar with.
Okay.
We have empty boxes to fill that role.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a big magic circle that does something. Don't stand in it, probably. I'm just going to close the door and lock it.
With you said 18?
Yeah.
It seems inert without some sort of spell being cast upon it to target it.
Oh, okay.
It seems like without magic being cast, it really at this point is just waiting for magic.
Oh, okay. It's a
Aren't
big
we
circle
all?
set up for a spell. I don't know what.
It sounds like something maybe a sage. And we might be able to talk to some people from one of the branches, one of the shrine branches that might have more information for us on it.
To the next room.
Okay, so you're going up rather than going and painting the things for him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go to the laboratory.
Laboratory.
We'll check out the last room and then we can go and paint the
Mhm.
faces.
It sounds so weird.
What, face painting?
like, that's not what that is. Face painting is things that happen, like, children do. For
No,
fun
you
and
should
joy.
not use sovereign glue on the faces of children, you monster!
I'm just saying, it's like, that's what happened at, like, parties when I was a kid, is we got, like, little tigers and crap painted on our faces, and just decayed corpses getting painted. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's an odd day for me.
Especially since we're going to do that again right after, I'll go ahead and use enhance ability, dexterity again.
Okay. Good idea. Quite good idea.
Yeah, so.
Natural 20 will quick.
Yes, with my plus 13.
Yeah,
modifier.
as you start doing it, that's not the way to do that. Pop! And this door opens to a domed ceilinged room with a glass dome ceiling and a giant telescope that outlooks at all sorts of the base floor. You barely see the stone of, as it is series of brass like metal rings and dials, various gears to turn this primary telescope around the room completely, different cranks and pulleys to move it along the back end of it, still like on the back end of like this turning section of it. There's just sort of metal tables upon which there are vials and various crystals, still one jar that emits like a faint glow.
I lean in to look up. Do I see stars or anything else up there, or just lean back outside, look up? Or there's
Darkness.
Yeah. Okay, that's possible portally and or illusion magic, I guess. Go and take a quick look around before we go back down to the faces. Just a quick arcana check against stuff to see if I can recognize some of the tools.
Okay.
Uh, 26.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it seems more experimental. We're not necessarily things were known about what was going on here. Could definitely, some of it is definitely things that are used in creating, say, potions, but not necessarily being done correctly. Whether trying to push the limits or being done by someone who had no idea what they were doing, you're not sure.
So yeah, I have the ability.
It's like clearly they had all the right stuff here for this, but why is this here not there? Like you're beginning at the last step. That's just gonna explode.
Given that I now have the ability to create magical items, do I see any magical item creation stuff or just alchemy?
Nothing. Nothing that's designed like for a long-term item, other than perhaps like some sort of expendable thing, much like alchemy sort of things. At least not set out here. Otherwise, there are various levers and gears and such which you're not incredibly familiar with, but do seem like they're tied into beyond just the mechanical thing, that there are probably magical ties to them as well.
No, that'll be a thing. Nothing immediately useful, but that'll be a thing to explore later. Go back downstairs with Ryan unless he has something in here he wants to check out.
No, I'd say, well, he's been, I've spent the time with him looking at the stuff in the tower. Something that I want to try is, as we're making our way back to the bedroom, I want to try to make an insight check to maybe figure out maybe some sort of hint of the situation that was going on in this tower that's led to them being here in the bedroom now.
Sure.
After looking at all the different rooms. 21.
What level spell do you have up to?
Max 5.
You said it was 21?
Yeah, 21 was my insight check.
And you are cleric and warlock?
I am paladin warlock.
Paladin warlock. Okay.
I'm a cleric.
Yeah, I mean, you are insightful enough to know that most likely it was not natural cause or extent of time. They still had food here. The room was sealed and locked from the inside. All 5 of them were laying in bed, where they had sat to decay. Did not seem any struggle. They had all died.
Ennui, suicide pack.
Yeah. You also,
There's only so many orgies you can have. We're bored.
nothing in the air. That room seemed poisonous. You haven't seen anything that seems foul to have killed them all. At the same point, just choosing to lay in bed and die of one's own free will is incredibly difficult. Eventually your body starts fighting that, and you don't just sort of sleep through it.
Plus, there'd be more poop.
Reavers.
While it's possible that there was some sort of bodily infliction, it was nothing that produced blood, because there was no blood stained. I mean, the bodies are in bad enough shape that you're not able to.
I don't know. Maybe they cast a magic spell that backfired and put them in comas.
Yeah, but wouldn't they be around some nature of ritual supposed to end bed?
This totally seems like a thing you can just ask them.
Yeah, I might.
But it would be wasting of a question.
Not necessarily.
Just
Well,
to
even
make
with
sure
his
we
glue,
don't-
they probably wouldn't be very well movable. They're probably going to be something that if you returned here after 10 days, you could ask again.
So yes.
Well, the best part is, like,
Who are
other
you going
people
for?
will be able to ask, too.
We got the 2 left in the single bed. It's
The
the
dwarf
elf.
and the elf that is laying with
Yeah,
the dwarf.
the elf lady and the
The
dwarf.
elf lady. 2 plus 1 plus taxidermy. Yeah.
That's not a number.
Yeah, it is. It's 13.
10 plus 1 plus
It's a big
tax
number.
day.
Yes, so
23, 24.
24.
24? Yeah, it seems...
And that's another third of the vial of Sovereign's glue.
Go ahead and do the dwarf guy while you're at it.
Okay. Yes. Those are larger numbers. So yeah, you managed to...
It's
Okay.
like that alone's 30.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and speak to the elf lady first.
She's a snorer.
Careful, it's a werewolf.
She snores. Jesus Christ. Someone get her nose strip.
Crumble.
Just
That's
sticking
not how
on it,
that's supposed to
flaps out,
work.
ripping the nose off, and it just bounces away.
Does she stop snoring, though?
Yeah, I'll ask her, can you tell me how you and your friends in this room died?
They don't know. They only know what they know in life. Unless you knew she was dying.
Which it kind of seems like they would.
She might be able
last
to...
recall leaving this room.
Type that down. Note that down.
We've got to write some notes.
I want to ask for your guys' aid as best as I can. Me and my friends are trying to destroy the Demon Lord. Is there a way from this tower or something contained within it that we could use to get to the realm of worms in order to destroy him? Can you tell me anything?
Is that like 3 questions?
No, I believe the question is there something in this tower that we can use to get the realm of worms?
Okay.
Yeah. Because this is like an interdimensional tower.
He just talked a lot around it.
Yep.
It's a Ryan skill.
If you've the aptitude, there's certainly spells in our books.
What is the most useful item contained within the brass brazier that contains the other items?
No, I don't believe it's brass. I believe it's like a
Well,
polished
No,
silver
I
kind of.
thought it was
Oh.
silver.
Yeah.
Well, then I described that
Yeah.
instead.
It is a silver brazier.
Yeah, the silver bowl that contains the items in the tower.
Make a luck check.
right now I'm just thinking like a tape measure was used for building stuff. This is the most useful thing. 16?
16 plus 3, 19.
19? Not terrible. It'll be better than a tape measure.
Mm-hmm.
Is it bigger than a bread box?
Midnight Drain. So the answer...
Daily double.
Usefulness greatly depends on what you are seeking to do.
I already described that in a previous question.
Kill a demon god.
Now, is that a new question or a statement of clarification?
The spell does not allow for statements of clarification.
So she's like, waste another question, ask me again, but more specifically.
What
That
is
one
the
didn't
most
count.
useful item that I could retrieve from the Silver Myrio Bowl that would help us in the destruction of the Demon Lord?
We've no great intent on fighting such a beast, but perhaps some of the arrows, if it's like other demons.
They're crazy taxi arrows. They help you find them.
No, if it's anything like what I'm thinking, they're slaying because freaking angels use them.
I was gonna say banishing arrows.
Well, that
That'd
won't
be
kill
great.
them.
I
That
can
would
use
just
those. I'm an elf.
Wait, is she being deliberately obtuse? Because just saying arrows doesn't allow me to pull out specific items from the brazier.
No, but it will get you arrows.
Yes.
I mean, you said rings, and you spent hours pulling out rings, so...
Yeah, but she doesn't know about that either. She is completely unaware of how willing we are to waste time. You can't use that against us.
Well, no.
That's our thing.
I'm just asking because...
But yes, she is not clarifying the exact,
Okay.
code word to steal from her. Be glad she's more helpful than the last. So the last person would have said, stay away from our stuff.
You're dead. You can't use it anymore. We're doing a service for the multiverse.
Well, if it's a dwarf, doesn't matter. It's my stuff.
Well, the last one wasn't a dwarf. The
Haven't
next
talked to the
one's a
dwarf
dwarf.
Yeah, I haven't talked to the dwarf.
Behold, my stuff.
Ooh.
Oh.
With our aims in attempting to destroy the Demon Lord, without saying something along the lines of "don't," what suggestion would you make to us to achieve our ends?
Pray.
I mean, it's not a bad answer because, demons...
Whoa,
good
I'm already
angel.
doing that.
Yeah. No, let's be fair. None of you religious people are that kind of religious.
I totally
Also,
am.
it does say a great deal about from what the wizards of the world were of.
If we don't think we
Because
can
you're
take
currently
this
in a world that only has religion for magic.
Yeah.
They did not. And she has no concept necessarily that...
All wizards stand with you here.
Alright. That's the way she wants to play it. Well, good night.
They specifically said, like all of them have basically said at this point from the research, this is a group that was hiding from what you intend to face.
Yeah.
You know that at this point. So as far as what's your advice on winning against this?
Hide in
Yeah.
this tower until you commit suicide.
Alright. Let's wake up our dwarf friend.
Dash.
What's the proper method for brewing proper dwarven meat?
You don't know what dwarves are. You're in a bar, getting drunk, not on dwarven mead.
I'm awakening a shrub.
Obviously, you ferment those berries.
We should I'm going to take those berries with me and offer them to people.
It's not berries, it's fruit.
You can ferment
Let's
that.
just mash that down, turn it into booze.
I'm just saying, I have a pouch that's built to keep potatoes fresh.
It's really around that size, too.
Yeah.
It's about that size for... Darn it.
Oh, God. You could put them around explosives and have them intravenously introduced into someone's system and make
Probably
contracts.
wouldn't
Yeah,
function in the same method.
There's a difference between poison and venom.
Yeah.
You're thinking venom, this is poison.
Yeah. You would have to aerosolize it somehow.
I'm not doing the scarecrow thing from Batman.
Although that is totally what that would be.
You understand that you're trying to make me a villain here.
Because that's kind of where it targets, is...
Is it technically terrorism just because it involves
Yes,
literal
if
terror?
you have to say, is it technically terrorism? Probably technically terrorism.
So, to the dwarven guy, I have no access to arcanists. Is there a way for us to planarly travel to the realm of worms, either from the tower or elsewhere?
I've never thought about it that way. I've myself been a quality arcanist. I'm sure if I find the time I could assist you with some of that, but as is, without it, I'm not particularly sure. It's not a quandary of which I've put great deals of thought to. Perhaps we can dwell on it. The library later.
Do you know, or is there a book within the library that would be able to give me information on controlling the use of the deck of many things?
Deck of many. Not quite sure. A deck would be typically a series of cards. But what great many things would be in there? Traditionally, 52, maybe 54, depending on the specifics about it. I suppose there would be tricks and guides, people, illusionists, as they are traditionally called, children's entertainers, could have a great deal of insight in manipulating a deck of cards. If it's that sort of deck, perhaps their skills would be something to seek.
I'm just wondering if you can make a sleight of hand check against the deck of many things to get the card you want.
No,
Can I palm
It
these
would
bad
probably
cards?
be something that would be a higher risk or reward for what you would get, because you're trying to mess with it, and either you succeed
Or
and
it
you
punishes
get
you.
or it punishes you.
Because does that mean the deck of many things is quasi-sentient then?
I would imagine.
Now the question is what would happen if you tried to slip an extra card into the deck?
You just pull a card out of your sleeve. I pulled this. The deck of many things turns it into a bad card. No, you didn't.
Take 2 decks of many things and shuffle them.
Want to play some Texas Hold'em?
Camera's hot.
Yeah, it is. It's a good looking camera.
Something. If I was going to ask something from the silvery bowl that contains the items of the tower, and I was an adventurer, what specific item would I pick?
What? That's. I don't know you. Stay away. It's not for you.
But we've already pointed out we're adventurers. Therefore, we're malicious robbers.
We're not malicious.
Just
we're
that idea of like adventures. Oh no. Hide the good silverware.
Hide the bad silverware.
Heck, hide our pumpkins.
Hide everything that's not nailed down, and then nail everything else down.
Hide the nails.
You and your other companions of this tower have died. What's one thing that you would want to pass on?
Is this dwarf speaking Elvish?
I believe speak with dead don't care.
I'm assuming he's asking in Elvish.
Yeah.
He's asking Elvish.
Yeah.
He definitely knows Elvish.
Mhm.
This is a dwarf in a room with
Yeah,
four
I
elves.
understand that he's banging elves. I get it.
Yeah.
He's a mountain climber of a different sort, if you catch my drift.
I'm sorry, he distracted me. What was the question again?
I asked him what he would want to pass
What he would want to pass on.
Yeah.
Something about tall elves.
Death by Snoo Snoo.
I long ago resigned myself that I'd have no one to pass anything on to directly, of course. But something I would hope generations beyond still desire is knowledge and its pursuit.
Trivia's Pursuit, the game. He's the inventor of the Trivia Pursuit board game in this world.
I want you to pass on knowledge. Not my knowledge. Get out of my library. That's mine.
He actually didn't say anything about getting out of the library. He, in fact, said at one point we could probably go over that in the library.
Yeah.
The library, he didn't seem all that restrained from. It was the, how do you know about that? That room is not for you.
Please stop taking
I
our
could
stuff.
foresee a situation in which case we have invited somebody else into our tower, and I could foresee a situation where we would help with them for that. I don't see why anyone else would know that room. That's not your room.
What I really need is a Ring of Wish.
Hmm.
Because then I could bring some of these people back.
I don't think so.
Uh-huh.
True res is only 200 years, but theoretically you can
Ninth
use...
level. Which can't replicate ninth level.
Yeah. Well, theoretically you could try to use True Wish to circumvent that in one of the wish-breaking wish forms.
Final question.
It's an option.
I think it just breaks the item.
Can you describe anything that is contained within the tower that would be suitable tribute for a god?
Yeah, that's in the DM fiat zone of wishing.
Tribute. Offering, basically?
Yeah, an offering.
Yeah, come to think of it, none of you religious people have spoken up to your gods about, hey, the demon lord's coming back. Can you let the people know?
That's where in the direction I'm heading.
Yeah.
I used my talk to God ability to get a new language.
Yes, like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe in a week's time you can try calling up God.
I mean, there's no real proof the demon god's coming back.
His cult's active, and they say
They've been active forever.
they say not the demon god, but what is the other prince or outsider or something?
And the Elder God.
The elder guy and the demon prince. That's
yeah,
right.
the Demon Lord. Yeah.
Which one of them's? Go ahead.
The gods are finicky set. Suppose what you are offering depends on who you're offering it to. I don't know what Calderon has in that basement of his, though it's always things of various interest. Of course, my own series of knowledge can be of great value.
Good night.
And now I'm just thinking, we take his head and gift it to a god.
Yeah, full of dust.
Yeah, probably.
Well, it's kind of glued together.
You
at
do
the
not
moment,
believe that
but
it is enough that
we
when
probably
you force
wouldn't
against
wanna-
gravity against it, that it'll.
Yeah, probably won't be moving it around though.
Yeah. Which one has already reincarnated or has an earthly form? Was that the demon prince or the elder god they were
It's
saying?
the Demon Lord.
Yeah, okay.
Demon Lord's got a physical body and a spiritual body.
And what did they say as far as the elder god?
I said we could kill one of them. Was
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to kill the Elder God as far as we can figure.
Mm-hmm.
But he's, whatever, probably still chilling back on his home plane.
Was that what the cultists thought?
I don't know. I don't think they mentioned
That
it.
was last
They did.
year. That was years ago.
It's like we got some chatter out of them about one of them having a reborn form.
Elder God is from Lost Heaven. That's what I got.
It's part of what you found in the journal.
13th Realm of Worms is where the Demon Lord Beelbernorse is from. Tana had got a decanter of endless water.
Yeah, you're going further back. This was the journal that you found in the cultist space that talked about it.
Let's see.
Dun, 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 dun.
As you play with a trio of other people that do not bother with notes, it's all.
The secret to the Elnor's powers in the deck of Hades can use the deck to attack.
If my
when
character
the
took
deck is
notes,
brought
I'd
to the
take
arms.
notes. My character doesn't, so I don't.
Also, most of the things that happen don't involve me, so I don't take notes about other people. Because that would just lead to me metagaming like crazy.
Kurthonax is granting cleric spells through the power of belief in him. The Elnor is reborn to the modern generation, full body power. Clockwork
Okay.
Box has perfect.
Then that's you wrote it a bit differently than it was written, but I think that's probably the section where you.
He's giving out actual cleric power, therefore he exists.
Well, I'm guessing that that's where you put the note, and you
Mm-hmm.
basically took a step from what I'd said a step further, but okay.
Yeah. So yeah, he's at least got people who believe in him.
Okay. Do we want to wrap this tower up and come back later?
We got stuff that we can pull out the basin, basically. And while he's doing his awakening ritual.
Yeah, I mean,
Probably have another hour while you have him doing that.
yeah.
So I'll go and try to get these arrows that they're talking about.
Do you just ask for arrow?
Do they have slaying arrow? Or holy arrow?
A slaying arrow. Yeah, you get
One?
one.
No, trust
Hey,
me on
Adam?
this. Slaying arrow.
One.
Yeah, slaying arrow.
You get a total of.
You gotta do it this
32.
way.
32 slaying arrows.
Hey Adam, I'm gonna go ahead
How
and
many?
go.
32.
I'm gonna go up to the freaking magical eyeglass that we steal shit from.
Okay, you see them and they're pulling out arrows.
Okay. Ivory. 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 I need 4 ivory strips.
Yeah.
I figure out how to do this book. I have access to legend lore.
You know what? I love the fact that you looked through your spell list and you came up with a solution that will absolutely... As you're sitting there, I'm deciphering a book that I don't think I could succeed at. You technically could. Technically, he was 1 tier below, and it was actually 25. But it really required you to...
A natural 20 with guidance.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
I
it's
had
like,
to
it was
roll.
not an easy success, but it's like, yeah, you can make it.
I have to hyper-max roll everything.
Yep. It was technically possible. Thus, I did have you make...
Ivory. I need 4 ivory strips and incense worth 250 gold.
Oh, you can... You find the first response to incense is a bag that ultimately you only use half of.
It's name brand incense.
Stick my hand in. Holy Avenger.
They do not have.
Okay.
You're like, fingers crossed. Okay, so I'm gonna put 250 incense, even though it's 500 worth of incense, because I'm gonna use half of it already. 250 in. Spelled correctly, most likely. And then do I find
You have to ask and end up with a few extra ivory strips before you get 4 that are of quality,
okay?
because they're 50 gold each.
So
The first couple are not quite as nice.
Stick my hand in. Ion stone.
Yep.
it's a
He's like, oh yeah, it takes an hour to get that to start spinning.
Takes an hour.
Well,
If it's magical at all.
I don't know. Detect magic on me.
I will take the Ion Stone and cast Identify, which will take me 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Now, ask for more Ion Stones.
Ion stone.
There is not another one.
Oh, okay. 1 ion stone.
Okay. So, have an Ion Stone to identify.
okay.
Does anyone else have any spell components they need to try to pick up before we leave?
Diamonds.
Rubies.
I don't think
Ruby.
my spells really have that stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and ask for like ruby dust, or rubies, or ruby dust, or diamond dust, because those very
You get,
specifically are stupid crap that's required.
800 gold worth of diamond dust. You can get...
I imagine since rubies are required for the teleportation portal up there, they'd have some.
the way that teleportation portal is that's actually built in,
I thought it still required rubies.
not within the setup portal. Because it's like literally, if you go up there, I mean, technically you could break the portal by scraping it all out because it's been inset and solidified into the floor.
850 diamond.
And then 2 300 gold diamonds, 1 500 gold diamond.
Now I have to refresh.
It's like, slow down.
2x, 300. Diamond, and what is it?
1 500 gold diamond. And check this before I make up a random number for that. 'Cause I know the diamonds that things want and their values.
I actually need ruby dust.
Yeah, I also need ruby dust in the future.
Yeah.
Like Hero's Feast requires ruby dust. Forbidden's requires ruby dust. Word of Recall requires ruby dust. Oh no, Word of Recall doesn't require ruby dust. Oh no, that just requires a gold encrusted bow. What the hell requires ruby dust? Is there resurrection? No, that's diamond. Maybe I don't need ruby dust.
I do.
Forbidden's? Yeah, Forbidden's requires ruby dust. That's what I need it for.
1 200 gold ruby, 1 600 gold ruby, and 1 5,000 gold ruby.
Excellent. And I will take
What's the
all of those and put
5,000
them
one
in.
go to?
Huh?
I'm putting all
Make an
those in my
Arcana check
bag.
if you'd like.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
sure.
When you're sitting around watching.
Stop
Yeah.
stealing shit.
I need some of that though.
30.
30. You're not quite positive, but that looks very similar in size to something with the device in the top level. The telescope.
It's like I doubt I could pry it away from them, but I do believe that goes to the super telescope up in the roof. But I don't know what that does, so. But I could probably figure out if I had the ruby.
I'm just grabbing things and putting them in my bag. And you're just like, oh, give me that. I'm like, go grab your own crap out of the portable magical hole.
As we all look at this as probably fun, so Bob's, I called it!
Encrusted bowl? Ornate bowl?
Yes, no, there's no descriptors on
Ostentatious servingware.
Get a really fancy picture.
How much is it worth?
You'd have to have that appraised.
Planetune metal fork.
Wait, do you have access to plane shift? That's
Not yet.
Ostentatious.
well, I did not know if your class would have it, therefore have the knowledge of attuned forks.
Eventually.
Okay. Is there a way I can...
How many of those do I get?
One.
Just one?
It's probably
Do I have
material
to
play too.
sleep for me to re-prepare a list on my spells?
Long rest, yeah.
Yeah. Well, crap. Oh well, I'll be able to do it tomorrow. Do my legend lore tomorrow. But I don't want to give up any of my things. Man. Oh well. I need to know.
So we'll be here another day.
Well, I'm taking the journal with me. I don't actually need to be here for this.
Oh, okay.
We could be here another day if you need to be. I'm just saying that we don't have to.
As leaves rustle.
Neat.
It gains a language of your choice.
Dwarven.
He doesn't know it. He has to know it.
Celestial.
Sylvan.
One language you know. Orcish it is. That's right. The better language. Move its limbs, root vines, creepers, so forth. Gain senses similar to humans. You choose the statistic appropriate for the awakened plant. The awakened beast or plant is charmed by you for 30 days or until you or your companions do something harmful to it.
I've been asleep for, I feel like, forever.
Yeah, it's probably been a while.
Pulling up roots on one end. Walks over to the flowers. Hey. Wake up, guys.
It was just you. I didn't have enough power to wake them all up.
Well, I was... Shake them awake.
Yeah, that won't work.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure. I mean, I tried. I had to use some pretty heavy magic to get you up.
Was that bad, was it?
I could only do it the one time. Had to make the hard choice. But you had delicious fruit, so it was you.
Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I've worked really hard.
Make sure you poop those seeds somewhere good.
Oh, let's stay in here. It's much brighter in here. Out there's not as nice.
No. We'd have to. After a while, I'll show you how to get up to the surface world, where all the other plants and people are.
We take this with us?
No. If you want this, you have to stay here. Can't go anywhere. Won't see any people.
You'll never meet famed adventurer Eric Restaurant.
What are you talking about? That's
Yarock
famed.
sounds familiar. You might have visited.
What are you talking about? That is famed adventurer Eric Rasparata.
It's a good name. I like that name. That's my name.
People. I think it'd be interesting to be a people.
Sure.
We'll get him a trench coat.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we can't take this room.
Just the sun.
Well, it's like a whole bunch of different lights, right?
There is a glass sort of diagonal panel that runs along the outside edge from which light is emanating.
Yeah, I mean, you can't grab that, I'm pretty sure. I haven't tried, but I'm pretty sure you can't.
Also, everything in the room would die if you did.
That's true. If you took the sun, all the other planets wouldn't do so well.
These ones are sleepy, and those ones are all dead.
This split room got hit with a plant growth. All the dead ones have been eaten. All these planets are just sleeping.
So you're up asking for anything else out of the...
Just things of value, spell components in general.
You have to actually ask for them. Spell components in general does not respond with anything.
Okay, so first I asked for corporal spell components, then I asked for major spell components, then I get to the general ones.
No.
That was funny. Screw you all. I mean, I got diamonds and rubies out of it. I don't think there's we've got the pearls we need.
You're
I don't think there's anything
smart.
else like that. Oh! Short sword. Short sword. Short sword. Short sword. Short sword.
You get 3.
Short swords.
Are they nice looking?
Oh yeah, they're well crafted.
Mundane?
You don't
Without
know.
casting detect magic, you're not sure. You might have something in your equipment that you would want more of.
Yeah!
My purple dust. Yeah, it's like I don't have an actual name for that, but I will say purple component dust.
Universal component dust.
Might make a little work to figure out what it is to be able to try and request it. But
Yeah,
I'm doing ritual detect magic.
okay.
I will intelligence check and try to jabber my way through of how to get more of this dust.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, 21 straight intelligence.
Arcana.
In that case, it is 29. No,
1 plus
Yeah, no.
5 is...
29.
What? Do you have double proficiency?
Yeah,
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
I have
You took double proficiency Arcana?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 normal skills at double proficiency. And then all of my crafting skills are double proficiency.
Goddamn rogues.
It's also largely artificer for...
Oh yeah, Artificer got all the tools double proficiency.
Yeah.
And they actually both came with expertise, so...
You're able to manipulate it with your weird cheesing of words for after a while. Make a luck check.
No! It's
David.
gonna be a 1. 17.
That's you
There's
get.
a 1 in there.
Yeah, it was close to a 1, but 17.
You don't have any bonuses.
No.
You get 850 gold worth.
Purple dust.
We've used some of it, so that's good. We used some of it
The
bringing random...
generic component of will fill the need.
we used it for rando NPC.
Yeah.
Did you add that to our slot? Oh, that stuff?
You have all of it written down. You remember we brought 2 NPCs back to life.
I wrote it down.
Yeah. It's like, I trust him on notes for party things. If I was keeping it only for myself, then yeah, I would have it written down, but that's a party item.
I tend to write down things that I am carrying, which is not to say that none of those things are... Not to say that those things don't have... The group doesn't have access to.
I got
it's
this
just that
purple
they're in my bag.
tone dust, and I also have the 2 raised deads written down.
Keep those receipts.
Yep.
After all, we have to somehow charge them.
We don't have to. They probably have employers. We charge those.
It's going to be the same thing.
I mean, probably.
That's a different form completely.
Yeah, they'll eventually probably get fired for costing the company coin, but
No. The cost trickles down to them. Their premiums go up.
yeah.
Everyone's premiums go up.
Mm-hmm.
You now live in a high-risk death area. Premiums go up due to resurrection costs.
So if I ask if we're leaving tonight to keep heading towards the...
We're not leaving tonight. We have to take care of the basement thing still, which means we have to wait for Vic to get to recharge that spell so that we can.
What do you mean
the
take care
basement.
of the basement
Yeah.
thing? We're going to ignore that.
There's a demi-lich and a dragon down there. We must defeat them.
Why not talk? I mean, that would be the obvious solution, is to talk to them. Like rational people.
It's a demi-lich and a green dragon.
Most of those things can talk.
Yes, but they're also very evil. And not like...
And in stasis, I think they'll talk at the risk of us closing the door again.
Speaking of which, so I probably have like 4 hours left of this day, right? Somewhere in there?
Your spell took a total of 8, and you've just finished it, so...
Another 8 hours?
Another, 6 or 7?
Well, before we have to go to bed, it's like another 4.
Yeah, well...
No, I guess it would be another 6. I'm going to spend that time researching in the library what the hell is up at that room down there.
You'd spend your time doing that.
No luck check on the... Why?
Because I know where that information is.
It's in the goddamn...
It is.
So I spend my time writing up, filling out, with Austin's help, filling out the reports and other stuff to turn in our completion of saving Giant's Bay and other stuff to get our 10,000 gold.
Make sure all the paperwork's right.
Yeah. So
And,
we can submit that.
So at a certain point, you
where
do
you
find
wanna
that he
go?
has an awakened shrub in that room that wants
And
to
those,
keep its light.
those 3 swords, were they magical?
They were not.
Where
But they're
were you
well-
wanting to go?
They were well made,
Library?
and you would gather,
No,
you would
after this.
assess that they were made in a manner that could, basically, they were prepared to be able to be enchanted. Enchantment just has not happened.
3x Mastercraft.
I was thinking we had to go back to wine drops to turn all that stuff in.
As a craftsman,
I
I
mean,
can appreciate
eventually.
them. One day, these swords will hang on my walls as decorations.
I mean, they're also the kind of thing like someone with the ability to enchant things. They're like ready for someone to enchant.
I don't know
can't
anyone
enchant
like
those.
that.
Those would be ultra rare. Or very rare, so... Well, theoretically I could. It would just take me like a year. I have speed your crafting on common and uncommon.
If we're thinking about that, with the different links that we have between the different planetary fragments, do any of those happen to go through Amaterasu's Tengoku?
Through where?
Her plane, where Amaterasu lives?
Do any of
The
them...
sun god.
Yeah, my sun god.
Well, what
you
are
ta-
the Shinto...
Okay,
grows?
okay. So you mean for your
Yeah, my
the
pantheon.
okay, no, the planes go between the Olympus Pharaohs and Assyrian Veneers planes. The Kami is associated with the ethereal and astral planes, which are not used to transition between the different locations.
Okay.
So
They are
there's-
what ties everything together, technically outside of it, but you're not physically walking through those in any of those situations.
They're holding the fragments from being destroyed.
Yeah, they're the
They're the sovereign's glue holding this particular face together.
Oh yeah, if you still have it, we have no more sovereigns.
Yeah.
And that was all 3
You could
ounces.
also check in the thing for more sovereign's glue. I
I don't-
stopped after I found a bottle.
Yeah, there might be more. And we don't know.
and a pail of paste.
I offered them the pale paste. Apparently, it wouldn't do.
They never tried. It might have done. Maybe they just wasted the magic glue for nothing.
I doubt it. Sincerely doubt it.
Yeah, because I was wondering if there was a way to get there.
You could just, instead of actually making
Make-
a house call to God, just pray like a normal person.
Make
Mm-hmm.
Eric did that all the time.
Make
it worked
a
for it.
religion check.
Yes, it did.
All right.
Just pick up that phone, man.
You're not that kind of paladin.
I'm not that kind of cleric.
10.
10. There's got to be a way.
To
Maybe
walk
these
up to
wizards
God.
Yeah, but when I asked them about getting to places, they said I needed the aptitude, and we don't have a wizard.
They also told you to pray.
Yeah.
They
That's for
specifically
a
told you to pray.
different thing. Maybe they knew it.
Well, I can't talk to them anymore.
Okay, so we finish up the day. I can see you. Quit whispering secret crap to camera when I can see you. It's really hard not to metagame when you're whispering secret crap at camera.
What did I whisper?
I'm not telling you.
Because you didn't get it. Because I whispered good. I don't want to have to edit in a section either. I'm going to try and give it to him or I'm not. Doesn't matter.
Or they could just find out with the rest of us. I mean, we're on a journey together. All of us are in the same boat, except for you, who's in charge of the waves and wind.
I like that analogy.
Not surprised, you love
Well.
boats.
You do like boats.
I like water.
Yeah,
So-
no, but you've always wanted boat campaigns / boat combat. And our first campaign was all about boats.
It wasn't tried to be, but I did start you out on that boat.
You
Start out on a boat. Every time we were stuck and needed to get somewhere, well, there's a boat there. We should probably hop in that.
Now, to be fair, also, that first campaign, I had to come up with ways to keep things moving because I was terrified of running the games the way I traditionally did for making content because...
We
Yeah.
wind up starting a town. Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. Now we just do it kind of we'll see what happens.
Excellent. So, and I'm
Well-
ready to go to bed for the day, so we can move on to the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Is anyone else have anything else to do today, or do we need to talk through every moment of every day?
I wanted to try one more thing.
I'm not.
You joke,
surprised.
sir! Remember that time when I told him he didn't need to write the email?
I go ahead and get on Genji, and somewhere in the way that we ended up having to chase him when he was on the hallucinogenic fruit, I'm going to try to go out to one of those stars. Maybe I can get to one of the Shinto realms from the tower area.
Okay.
To be clear, I am not going to be capable of saving you. I don't have the correct spells to save you if you wind up in the wrong plane.
I can banish myself
Yes, but where will you wind up?
Somewhere.
on the material plane someplace.
Assuming this isn't a material plane that's a literal entire material universe with multiple planets spread across everything, or is it just one solar system and this is the only place
You have already learned that you are in one of the abyss or hell domains, which they gutted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just destroyed everything in it to leave themselves a big black open space where they can make their own thing.
Also, we learned that
I'm a little bit terrified these people were running, and their decision for where to run was to an abyss plane where they killed everything, took it over, and reshaped it in their own image, and they're like, but that dude over there, we don't want to fight him.
You don't know what they had to fight there. Maybe you've already fought what they had to fight here.
Just a bunch of hand jobs.
It's the thing that is most prevalent here.
The high five of doom. I'm just saying, I've beat that hand before. It was in Super Smash Brothers.
Man, when he goes crazy, though.
Just over there finger gunning me.
So you start working your way out there. Definitely, it doesn't take but about 5 feet away from the tower before. I mean, you are technically in now a gravitational field. Like once you go far out, very far from the tower, you are now. It is basically trying to force an orbit. So there is some sort of effect the tower's having out there. What are you guys doing back? Chilling, waiting.
I was
Basically,
doing research that
yeah,
I
you're
will not find out the answer till tomorrow. Yeah.
if I finished up all that paperwork, I'll go out on the tower and try to keep an eye on Ryan with a set of binoculars or something.
I double check that paperwork.
binoculars are clearly the most advantageous thing used to try and see off into the distance that we have access to.
Well,
Literal telescope.
yeah, but it points
It's missing
somewhere
a
not
ruby,
here.
and no one knows where that ruby is.
Also, it's pointing not into this plane.
Did we not look through the telescope?
No.
Yeah. They didn't have the magical science I wanted, so I said, we'll find out later, else we'll spend the rest of the campaign in this tower.
I mean, we're guaranteed to spend at least 2 more days here.
So, you make your way out, and at a certain point, the little spot, which gets bigger and bigger until it's about a baseball-sized in your vision, and it starts to get some detail, let's say, of the lone mountain. And as you step beyond a certain point, the detail vanishes. And it is just a slightly faintly growing rock stuck in orbit.
Just snatch that gravity.
But it looks like one of the fragments. Am I familiar with it?
It looked like one of the fragments as you were approaching, but once you got close enough, and it's a rock that's, say, a big, about the point it looked in your vision as if it were baseball-sized. When you got closer, that image vanished from it, almost at like a certain, like you passed a line, and now it's just like a slightly growing rock that's floating there. As if there is some sort of illusion that is presenting an image on top of it, and you have basically passed within that barrier where you have...
If I back up...
It'll, back up past that, and about the same point, it now looks like the island again. It's just a physical object that is keeping pace and centering around an illusion.
Okay. I look around to see if I can see the other fragments from this location.
They're harder to find from being this far out, but with some travel you can.
I'll go back to the tower.
Okay.
I'll go back to that laboratory and see if I can use
And that's around the point that you're getting ready for bed. Because you're about 6 hours have passed there.
Alright.
With you going out and back. But yeah, there's the laboratory.
Look in the telescope, see if I can see the fragments from the telescope.
If you look in the telescope as things are aligned right now, you're looking upon the constellations in the sky.
It's missing a big honkin' ruby.
Make a history check.
I am that kind of
11.
Yeah. Looks like the night sky. There is a spot where a gem could be set around the size of the ruby, but it functions without it.
So I can see constellations.
Mm-hmm.
Can I see whatever the Milky Way river or something like that?
Would you say the ruby is our constellation prize?
Whoa. But yeah, you can. Yeah, I mean, you can. Yeah, it's basically as if looking through into the night sky.
Can I see the other fragments if I look through?
No.
No.
So did he move the telescope at all?
Not by himself while looking into it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can adjust it by going over to the wall and messing with there are like gears and there are levers. So there are things you could rotate, and this entire telescope is on a platform that the entire center of the room will rotate. There are also levers on a wall. One of which is up, the other 3 are down.
Make that one go down.
It will not go down.
Make one go up.
It pulls the other one down as it goes up.
It's a lever puzzle.
And it's one, two. The third one was up before. Which one do you put up?
The one next to it.
Like the center one or the outside?
Center.
If it's... I thought there was only 3.
There are 4. 3 are down. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then the middle left one switches, and the constellations from the sky like from outside the dome vanish, and it is just a great red mist. And you look through, and it is undiscernible.
Fourth lever. Outside.
The outside one bumps, and it goes back to like a night sky with a lot less detail in the sky, and there is a solitary planet probably in view.
Look at the planet.
Make a history check.
10.
It's a planet. You're not really sure. Some world that did not befall such a fate as yours.
Maybe it's our planet before it exploded.
Nope, don't know that.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Doesn't look familiar though.
First lever.
The first lever, and you're now looking out upon the plane where you are, with the ability to then look at the different fragments as they rotate.
Now I can see stuff.
And if this, you can manage to get the telescope in. With it, there is a lever that changes the order there, where you're actually basically raising the platform that you're standing on, so you're looking out to them. But looking out, yeah, you can get great detail. The most notable things you see would be, say, looking in on raindrops, and if you go in where the city is, there's a town there, and there's rubble from a village from what civilization was there, but it feels like it is still a captured image of that chunk just after the destruction, before rebuilding has occurred.
So these are static images.
They are static images of just after the destruction was made.
I love that these wizards decided, we want to put a telescope in. Just study stuff? There's nothing here. We're going to put illusions of static images up. Couldn't we just have those in the room and not need the telescope at all? Fuck you, I want a telescope!
Yeah, I want those little binoculars.
They are able to manipulate them. You do not know how.
I mean, maybe with giant rubies.
What would a ruby do?
I don't know. The spells...
It'd be easy to read, because it's red.
Or turn whatever that red one into something.
No. You can read it better with the ruby, because they're red.
I don't get
it's
the
a
joke.
pun.
Yeah.
Red. Red is not just a color. Red.
Yeah.
It's
the
the past tense of
read. Yeah.
Not the stick. It's in a marsh, but the action. I feel like jokes get better when you explain them.
Is the sigh a sound, the sound that comes from a good joke?
Yes.
That could be.
Oh, then yes.
If it's an involuntary sigh, yeah.
That's the groaner.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah, the joke is your pain.
So now paperwork's done. Do you want to go and check out these monsters that you tried to talk to me about when I was busy?
Well,
It's bedtime.
yeah.
One time, I dropped a joke book on top of
That
my
spell
friend,
was pretty complex.
and he was really mad. I said, "Sorry,
You've
but it
done
looks
paperwork
like the
and
joke's on
hanging
you."
out with your.
Well, yeah,
Sure.
paperwork's fun.
Mm-hmm. And we should...
It's fulfilling. You're doing God's work when you're doing paperwork.
Well, it's not only paperwork, but also reports to report on, demon cult activities trying to destroy the world again.
Yeah,
Here's that information.
These are all files.
Basically,
correctly.
the paperwork for we need paid for what we did before, and the new paperwork for, and we need to be hired for this.
Exactly.
It's all filed correctly, which means our paperwork will go through faster than everyone else's.
Mm-hmm.
He drops the Velcro patches on his thing.
Yeah. So you go to bed.
It's a South Park reference.
I pray before I go to bed.
What do you say?
Asking for guidance on my path.
You get a +4.
You go to sleep. Are we guys just in the library?
Yeah.
Yep.
Seems safest and most comfortable.
Oh, before I go to bed, I also ask
sleep
for
in the
another.
house.
I go, beer.
Nah, I tried food.
Wine.
Nothing came out.
Yeah, there's
wine.
another bottle of wine.
I didn't get wine though. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Fuck.
I'm gonna drink an entire bottle of wine tonight.
No, I'm gonna have a little bit now, a little bit later, and then probably some more tomorrow.
This one's a Merlot. Merlot.
Merlot's a word.
A champagne.
It's a.
It just took me a moment because I know the word, but I was like, oh no, the way that I say it's the wrong way.
I like
the wrong way is the right way.
I tend to like Merlots. They're not as good as Norton's, though. Of course, I am.
But I don't know that word, so it had zero chance of being that word.
Well, Norton is Missouri grape specifically.
These are not from Missouri.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Apparently they're from California.
The Norton antivirus.
But otherwise, yeah. Nothing is here to bother you over your rest.
Toboggan me?
Nothing to toboggan you either.
No tobogganing?
Morning arrives. It's still daytime for you.
Morning, Bushy.
I will go.
You wake up and the bush is like trying to feed the vine plant up the wall towards the line.
Keep at it, man. Remember,
You break it.
remember, you do you. You get to choose.
You break it.
I have decided I don't want the blame, and I'm going to force someone else to do it.
That's good. It's all good.
That's also
Quite specifically, the shrub is like 2.5 feet tall. The room is like 9 feet tall.
So, like babies, doesn't have great space.
So it is feeding. Yeah, it is feeding the vine that can grow all the way up to the top. It's like.
Nah, I'd say he's having the time of his life. Corporations can't regulate the unsanctioned awakening of any plants in his current location. Because it's not on the correct plane.
Yeah, the wrong plane. They don't have a jurisdiction.
I go up
Yet.
to where.
Don't worry, he has paperwork filed for that later.
It's not filed, it's filled out. Until it's filed, it's not
He has.
official.
He has paperwork ready.
That's
Yeah.
why he can't get mad at us
In
for
fact, in
stealing
his
crap.
paperwork, it is partially there. I mean, it's already been done, so it's
Yeah.
just.
I'm going up to the well room to see if I can get a Wi-Fi signal to email this out.
I'm going to go ahead and take 10 minutes and cast...
Make a luck check.
I'm going to take 10 minutes and cast Legend Lore on this dang book.
3 total.
Yeah.
There's too much water above you. You're not
Too
able
much
to-
water and straight up stone. Yeah. Oh yeah. I would have last night identified Ryan's ion stone.
Mm.
Make a luck check.
Dull gray.
11.
It is an iron stone of fortitude.
Do we still have dull gray in 5th edition?
What?
Dull gray ironstones.
They're not listed by color.
Are those the ones that just float and do literally nothing
They've
else?
lost their magic, so all they do is float.
Yeah.
Then yeah, they would not be in this book at least.
Well,
There's a decent chance. I know that there is another book that has a few extra ones that didn't get put into this one that might have gotten added to that, but I do not have that book. All right, Legend Lore.
Is that just plus
Name
2 constitution?
object.
Yep.
Spell brings to mind brief summary of the significant lore about the thing you named. One might consist of current tales, forgotten stories, even certain lore.
Well, fortitude is useless for me.
Oh, it doesn't bring you above a max?
Plus 2, max 20.
Hmm.
I'm at 22.
No, I can use plus 2 constitution.
Okay.
Would it be on the book or the person to get the cipher?
You get to choose. Who do you try and? You're because you're not trying to get this. I mean, you can't
No
specify
Belgrade
to
anymore.
get the cipher. You are trying to learn the legend of an object, or a person.
I guess the person? Because the person... No, it would have to be the object, because if I do the person, it
And
wouldn't give
this item is the most legendary thing.
Which
this
I
person,
doubt it.
yeah.
I'm going to have to do the object. So yeah, I'll do the object.
Yep, 25 gold.
Well, you do know that
An old one.
Caldrim is the creator of this object. Bound in secret and in desire.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh yeah, it's all poetry and prose, man. That's legend
It's
lore.
legend lore.
That's legend lore.
Yeah, that's just what you just asked me to do. You did legend lore.
Yeah, I know. I'm not going to write all this crap down, though.
Okay. Bound in secret and desire. This script or code, when dealt with fire, can find the key to hold beasts down within that just above broken ground.
Okay, I didn't understand any of that.
You gotta set it on fire.
Yeah, okay. Is there blank pages, like beginning, end, blank pages in the book?
No, this is a complete idea. It's not even like a full like bound book. It was like a softer cover thing, and it is full.
Well, you know I'm smart. You could ask me and give me
No.
legend lore.
I can't give you legend lore.
You could
You
tell
can-
me what
yeah,
you
no,
said.
it literally
That's
said-
true.
I'm not doing that.
Okay, but that poem does come in your mind, so that, like you do as a person know that as like a poem to explain the legend of.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense to me, though.
That's like,
Does it help with the cipher at all?
Well, let me say it gives you advantage as
Oh,
far to.
fuck off.
It's not magic. Tell me what this book is. It's a clue to
No,
it.
that doesn't help me at all.
You shouldn't have used legend lore then. Legend lore is famously unhelpful.
I use a candle and heat up the covers of the book.
There are additional scripts that are visible with heat. You also have a plus. We'll say a +5 to your checks when trying to decipher it.
Okay, I'm going to try and decipher it then.
You have advantage
I'm going to use guidance.
and a +5.
The +5 means that I have to roll a 20. I have to get a 20 still. I just have to get a 20 total as opposed to a 20 natural. And that's not going to do it.
Yeah, I don't think that formatted.
Or the other 4. Yep. So, no, not at all. When can I roll again?
You're taking your time to do it. We'll get to that.
Of course. I'm going to have to spend another day on this stupid fucking book.
Probably.
Which means I got to spend another hour sitting here while Ryan does whatever the hell it is he does so that we can pass the day.
Well, you can't talk to people anymore.
Yeah, I'm done talking to people, and I don't think that there's anything that a non-wizard can do as far as getting us to a plane that I might want to visit.
Unless we talk to monsters.
Again, just leave the basement alone. It's the easiest thing.
say
You
that
don't
might-
know about it yet.
I'm the one who found it,
that
and
might-
I've told everyone.
Yeah, that might be the thing we get back to. That we might have to come back for later.
Yeah, having managed to identify the lich, I'm pretty sure we can't take it. Isn't a demi-lich like 21?
No, they're not like 3rd edition demi-liches.
Oh, I remember specifically they are immune to AoEs, though. Or any reflex saves.
Yeah, they've got specific immunities. I don't know what they were offhand.
Well, I just know in the other modern campaign we could not, in fact, hit them with grenades.
Yes, we can. If you hit them with the grenade, they don't get a save.
Poink.
Plus, I'm going to punch them with it. Because I literally am not capable of failing the dex save.
But yeah,
On a crit miss, I get an 11.
we could probably leave them alone.
Yeah.
Open the door, throw Genji in there, and see if I can talk to Genji after the door's closed. That would at least confirm whether or not it's a stasis room.
Yeah, we could throw Genji in there, and then
I think the fact that we weren't attacked by a green dragon and a demi-lich confirms
How big
that
is the door? How big was the dragon? Yeah.
The demi-lich definitely could have fit through.
Was in a cage.
was in a cage. Yeah.
Come on, man. Use your brain.
But we could put Genji in there and close the door and see if he can't telepathically communicate anymore. He can be resummoned.
He's still like you sense in your mind it still hurts.
We can probably get you out before you get in trouble.
Just, bro. Why don't we put you in front of some of those lightning lizards again? You seem to enjoy that. I got you up before you got in trouble. It's fine.
We don't have familiars that we can throw out willy-nilly. We're not that kind of characters.
I can't telepathically talk with the animals I summon.
You came with Karamaxis.
Yeah. That's true.
Can't you summon? You can't summon beasts.
I can, but I can't talk to them telepathically through a wall.
Oh, you have to actually use your face.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hence the point of using one of the.
But anyways,
horses.
I want to send this email, so we need to leave. And
What email are you trying to send?
all the paperwork we just filled out.
And physical paper form.
Yeah.
I was trying to do that on the computer.
No,
For one, a lot of the stuff that you're doing actually has samples that you turn in.
Yeah, and you can't just put this in an email. That's a good way for your paperwork to not get seen for months.
Yeah.
You got to
Also,
file
the
this
person
stuff
you're
properly.
sending it to, all of your contacts, probably have left their
You're not
laptop.
positive which ones are actively back there.
Yeah, their laptop's probably in that building that you ripped all the batteries out of.
To be fair,
That is a good point. A lot of those.
I have a contact and email address to someone in Wine Drops now that we're working through for this mission.
For this mission, you're like sending paperwork to the wrong people.
And that's good.
That person assigned it. They get the stuff for it. They can assign new things because
We have to come back with proof.
They can, but if you want, you got to do the paperwork right, man. I mean, if you want to trust the system to do its own thing, it will eventually.
well, I figured
But you
send
got
it
to
now
help the system on with
and
your own
then
paperwork.
go to Wine Drops.
You can't double paperwork.
You
That's-
can't paperwork or paperwork.
That's a fine.
I don't know.
Okay, I've been convinced not to send this thing
You're trying to
out.
commit fraud because you're going to be filling out the same paperwork twice.
Say, is there... can we pay for the services of somebody in order to have us plane shifted? Is that something that's...
What level of what class would be needed for a plane shift?
Warlock, and that'd be like 13.
There's probably somebody somewhere, but that's not someone that is easy to find.
Druids can also do it.
Oh, druids can do it too. Cool.
Druids can plane shift.
Do you
If only
eventually
we
get
knew a
tree
druid.
walk or something like that?
I have access to Tree Stride already.
Can
It's just not very useful.
Clerics can plane shift too. So yeah, cleric,
all
druid,
these things at 13?
yeah, cleric, druid, or warlock.
Yeah, Tree Stride's 5.
So we've got 3 different available
so
classes.
it exists. It's just higher level individual. So
Then I'll go ahead and hit up what would be the Grand Shrine or HQ of my religion. Somebody that I could talk to that's actually got some clout.
Yeah, I mean, there's decent ones in the cities.
I want to say 1 minute. Yeah, it's 10 rounds, right? 1 minute,
Yeah.
10 rounds. What? That's 5,000 feet, a mile. That's
Less
how
than-
far. That's how far Tree Stride can get you.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, there's not necessarily like a central
Yeah, it's not very. For long
um,
travel, it's not very good.
like point of worship.
You want to run away?
Well, no.
Any of the
But there's
You wanna
probably
stride
grand
from one
shrines
place to
to
another inside of a building.
whatever a particular.
trees. You have to use trees.
Yeah,
Deity.
there was a
Spirits.
story
Only
I
500
heard.
foot.
Yeah, because like I'm
foot
sure
per travel,
Amaterasu
once
has her
around.
own grand shrine.
There was a
and
Reddit
you'd
story
probably
about
find
a
I mean, that was the one that
They
you focused on,
died,
which would probably
wanted
be
to
back
point out.
in the Aranese Mountains.
Oh, okay.
That probably would have been where that was. That was because that's where you was. It was probably tended by you and your family previously. You were that.
Oh,
Grand shrine.
so okay. I didn't know that we.
Yeah, because each spirit is likely to have basically its own. Each shrine is likely to be to one or a handful of spirits, Whereas there's probably also small objects or letters or tags or whatever at some of the more general shrines that you get in the major cities, but those are less dedicated to a specific spirit and more to...
Well, say, because whatever, my character was following the war god, and I was looking to get to the sun god, who's essentially like the chief deity of the ones that actually interact with mortals on any sort of semblance. Because whatever, you got some higher deities within that pantheon, but they're essentially like, think of them as
there's no specific there's no solid pantheon list in it. It is
For how decentralized your organization is, for you've gotten all these benefits, is weird.
Any venerated place, object, lost loved one may manifest as such a spirit.
Yep.
So it can be any.
Yeah, but there are whatever grand kami. There are the higher beings, the heavenly ones. So I was looking to kick up the chain, not be talking to like the rocks and stuff.
Yeah, you would probably need to do a little research to where that particular shrine,
Okay.
or what would be.
Well, I will suggest going in the direction that I think will help that the best.
More likely than not, going to one of the major cities where they have the general shrines would probably be somewhere where you could ask someone that would be most likely to know where that shrine, basically who came, because most likely you or your family went from the spirits that you were leading where you have, and you've probably given, someone has given tags or whatever, prayers or things, paper prayers or whatever, to each of the main headed shrines, and so they know where you came from and where that shrine is. So from there, you could find...
Okay. Well, then let's go to Wine Drop so we can go to a major city, turn in our paperwork, talk to a shrine person, do all that.
Are you throwing Genji in the room or not?
No, I figure we can just ignore it. I was for ignoring that room.
Okay.
It's like, I doubt it has any extra treasure besides the joy of almost dying.
I mean, we might be able to get in there and nothing bad happens. And those guys might be just fine. They're just, whatever, locked in there.
Yeah, but why bother? I mean, if they're evil, we're taking the good route of a painless imprisonment of stasis field if they have no thought without killing them. It's like they don't even exist.
I figure somebody might want them later. Did we have any additional time? I was just going to go and try to pick through and see if there are any books in the library.
Well, we're not leaving till tomorrow anyway.
Oh, okay. Then I'm going to go looking for books about the artifacts to see if I can find anything that might describe the deck of many things and how to actually use it versus just kind of randomly pulling cards.
Sure. You get another check.
Oh, I thought you were whispering at camera again.
No, I was whispering at you.
Guidance. I got a 4 and
15.
Yeah, that's still not enough.
After seeing you do that for a couple hours, I asked if you wanted
I tell
to
you
help.
fuck off.
No, I've got this.
Your character does, or the Bob does? Because your character doesn't seem like a jerk. He seems like someone who wants this done.
You're bothering me.
I'm offering to help.
24.
Because you're obviously into some ciphering things. I see the paperwork with symbols on it. It's like, do you want any help with that?
No.
If you're still like, no, okay.
You walk back up from there. Ting. Ting. Ting.
Something's ringing.
Something's
Beating
hitting
on a
against
ceiling.
glass.
It's a shrub.
The shrub, you're walking by, the shrub has a branch and it's... Ting.
I guess I'll... If he's like, we can't leave till tomorrow, also, I won't let you help. I guess I'll go back and play with getting magical rings and requesting rings and throwing them in.
You already have all the rings.
Oh, you made it sound like there are still more rings to get.
No, you have like, what, was it 1,000 rings?
2,000.
2,000.
2,000 gold worth of rings. Or any of them look... I cast Detect Magic and scan all of them.
Yeah, if I didn't already tell you the number,
Yeah.
then probably like 24 are magic or something.
Okay. I'll spend a couple hours going through these. Well, some of them. Because it's like a 10-minute ritual for one. A couple hours.
Is 6 an hour, 4 hours, right?
It is, yeah.
And you have rings. Quick, hand us all the loot.
You get 2 each. Rings of resistance. Acid, cold, fire, force, lightning, necrotic, poison, psychic, radiant, and thunder.
Well, that clears out the whole lot of real quick.
That is 20 of the rings, is 2 of each of the rings of resistance.
These guys are prepared for some stuff.
Yeah. You have 2 rings of spell storing.
Ooh.
You have a ring of shooting stars. And a...
That's magic missile, isn't it?
I don't think so.
Fairy fire or ball lightning, it looks like.
Now, the real money with spell storing is give your familiars concentration buff spells.
No, I want spell storing. Bob, hook me up with spirit guardians.
I have celestial, summon celestials now too.
These have like a max limit on the spell level.
And a ring of
fifth
feather
level.
falling.
Hey, there you go.
Feather falling.
Okay, so I spend.
No, 1 more and then you can...
Alright, guidance again. That's not good. I rolled another 4. 18, 20, 21, 26.
You crack the code. After all this, you crack the code.
I didn't need you!
And
I'm a scholar, damn it.
and yeah, no, this is basically in reference to the bottom room, which is the room above the crumbling bed of the tower. The flame was the code for deciphering it. But yeah, it's basically talks over the information and explains the lower room. You know that room is a stasis room when the door is shut for the creatures that are bound within it. If you want them to just stay still, you can walk in and you can close the door behind you, and they will stop. When the door opens, they will animate until you close the door again. Now, you cannot interact with them while it is closed, but if you wanted to research or, from what you gather here, gimp them, you understand that they are not necessarily harmless, but incredibly broken creatures within. You do also gather that the hands, of which there are multiple of within there, are native to this plane, and that's why he has a handful of them chained by the rest. He found a demi-lich who was a former priest of this page. Chocolanax. The green dragon being a pet project that he was able to ensnare.
Once again, these people are running away from the main bad guy, and that upsets me.
They weren't strong enough to fight them, but were expected to.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to the,
Just think about how many levels we're going to gain before we have to fight him.
yeah, I
3
worked
sessions from now.
30 sessions from now. So I'm gonna go ahead and write all of that down in another book, and then bind them together, throw them in my bag, and then probably not deal with it until I turn it into my priest so they can go and research it. And then I'm gonna go to the hole, the magical hole of give me stuff, and I go, you know, there were arrows in there.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a magical longbow, but not a great one. Longbow, 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 longbow. They're elves.
There are D6.
4. Detect magic.
D6 minus 3.
There's 1. I rolled a 4.
1 magic.
Okay, excellent. Now I figure out what it does.
Do you?
Yeah, I go and bug Nick.
Decided I could use your help after all.
I figured out the book. I don't have this. What does this bow do?
Get my stuff all set up. It's like, I'm going to give you even money. It's probably a +1. That general magic, that do.
Bow of the Solars.
Oh.
The bow, the one we named one.
Really, there aren't many actual magical bows. There's like
There's
one. There's
yeah.
the Oathkeeper's bow. That's it.
There's
Which
a
is
couple
pretty
more
good.
bows than that.
I like my
Such as?
bow.
It's just the Oathkeeper's bow for named bows.
It is a Fey bow.
Oh,
What does that
shows
do?
you.
Hold on, it's going to take me a moment to get to that.
As I just start ripping chunks out of other magical items.
Shut up.
As you're over there just pooping all over bows.
It is a +2 bow.
No, automatically better.
Remember, you know the results. You can't just lie to him and say it's +1.
But specifically, write +2 down on your paper.
Pacifically, write it down.
You could tell him it's +1.
Yeah.
That's not the book I need.
Or is it?
That's the book I need.
So we should go into the basement room, grab the Demi-Lich's cage, leave the room with the Demi-Lich and interrogate him.
No.
Nah.
I do give Ryan the information about the what's it guy.
Go in there, shake his cage, make him angry.
Go in there, lay a big turd in his cage.
No, stop.
It's so stinky.
I don't even have olfactory senses anymore.
Now you'll be frozen here with that stink still fresh.
Well, no, it's just the animals, because you can move around inside the stasis room, so I guess the poo would still just smell.
Mm.
Yeah,
And
the
decay,
poo would
turn to
decay.
compost,
Yeah.
and all that, yeah, that'll be normal.
I would go in there and put on what was his name?
Put him in one of those boxes and fill it
What's
with
the
acrylic.
guy? He played the parrot in Aladdin.
Gil Godfrey?
Yeah.
Gilbert Godfrey.
Yeah.
He also read the entire 50 Shades of Grey series
Yeah.
as an audiobook. Just go in there and put that on repeat for the Demi-Lich to listen to.
Well, he's in
Well,
stasis, he can't hear it.
Yeah.
Depending upon the season which your spirit aligns, when you fire an arrow within to a point within 30 feet of you, you may face step according to the Eladrin
What?
of 3rd level or higher.
When you-
Which basically means that you would have a season, and you as a person have an ability that is an upgraded face step from just firing a normal arrow from the bow.
Does he know his season, or does he pick?
Give.
I will let him pick.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a dick. In fact, you can all pick, and I'll pick different ones if you want different people to be able to. Furthermore, while attuned to the bow,
Well, that requires attunement.
those two features do not.
Oh, where?
While attuned to the bow, you can speak, read, and write Elvish. You have dark vision to a range of 60 feet.
I'm an elf.
So you might not be choosing to attune to it.
These features, super useful.
Hell,
So I can face step and then it's an upgraded face step.
Yes, it's from which season you have.
So I can teleport and then also do another thing, or
Yeah, well, that's if you see the seasons for Eladrin,
yeah.
each of them adds an upgrade to it.
Yeah.
You get one of those.
You have proficiency with the perception skill, and
Does it give you elven weapon training, therefore automatically making you proficient with the longbow?
no.
I'm still an elf.
This isn't about you, Bob. This is about this this Fey bow.
It allows you to utilize the Mask of the Wild Wood Elf trait.
Which I already have.
You're a Wood Elf specifically?
Yes.
So am
you,
I.
you probably do not want to bother to attune to it, but the other benefits you still could get without attuning.
Okay, so I can do 30 feet. So it's a Fabo plus 2, 30-foot teleport. Teleport as a BA. It's a badass.
B.A. Baracus.
Wait, do you have to shoot the bow at something within 30 feet and then face step, or you just have face step while holding onto it?
You shoot you have to shoot an arrow. You can shoot the ground. You can shoot a point.
My point is,
that
did I shoot some dude over there and face tape the other direction?
No, you are following the arrow.
Okay, yeah. You're face stepping
So
where you
is
shoot.
it a bonus action?
Is it a bonus action or is it part of my attack action?
Does it? Is
It
that
says
a bonus?
that yes. It
Then
says
it is a bonus.
Okay, because get that pencil out.
When you
Because
shoot
if it was
somebody,
part of my attack action, I can shoot twice. That means that'd be just. Let's see how much I can increase my movement speed. Because now I have a 90.
No, it is a bonus action.
I now have 95 feet of movement a turn.
But that means you could basically shoot one to move and then attack twice with it. With your
wisdom saving throw will be charmed. And one creature your choice that you can
So having figured, gotten that, do you guys do anything else
Okay,
here
so
in the tower?
not unless they want to.
Did I find any books
Well-
describing magical artifacts?
Yes. Nothing that has the deck of many things.
Okay.
It is not documented here.
So, do you have stone shape? Or are we just gonna crack the ceiling, let all this water pour in again?
I've been in and out already.
Yeah, but you can
Dimension
teleport. Can you bring all of us out? Or would that be too many spell slots?
We can break open the thing and then I can put the freaking wall back.
Yeah.
While it would theoretically eventually drain the swamp,
That's why we put the wall back.
yeah, you could also just leave it. I mean, you know full well it goes straight down and it just falls off into the void.
Yeah, but we want the wall there so no one else finds it.
I don't know. Maybe we should drain the swamp. Turn it into nice arable land. Give a good tip to the companies about how the land's going to drain out and become usable.
Start buying land.
I mean,
I wouldn't tell the company. That's their business to find out.
It wouldn't work. Ghosts prevent it from changing.
What have you learned about the ghosts?
They're dicks.
They only stay in the water. That's the
They are
point.
greatly tied to the water.
Once all the water's gone, we could solve this whole problem.
Yeah, and then you can't give me crap for killing them anymore.
Yeah. If your solution to
It
this haunted
potentially
field...
could haunt the extra dimensional space. You might end up with a haunted wizard's
That's
tower.
fine. That's something me and you disagree with him on.
What?
Undead.
Of ghosts being innocent until attacking?
No, ghosts are they're not innocent.
It's
They're
5th
ghosts.
edition. Undead are no longer necessarily evil.
According to our religion, they are spirits and therefore are beings of impurity.
Because if they were pure, they would not be there. They are by nature impure.
But you worship Osiris, so I don't think you understand.
No, he wouldn't just not understand. He
they're
would
just ghosts.
fundamentally disagree.
Like, they're just ghosts, man. That's the thing that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My God of the Dead disagrees with your God of the Dead.
Oh, and I took a
My
winter,
God's got bigger muscle
so
than
it's
yours.
a D12 or be frightened. I put it on the sheet. A DC 12.
My God can beat up your God.
So you're going to shoot an arrow at someone's feet, and they're going to go, haha, you missed. You're going to pierce through the crap out of them, and then
Grenade!
start hitting them with grenades.
No,
I mean, that's what it sounds like.
here's what's going to happen. I'm going to shoot them with the bow, scare them, run up, smash an incineration grenade in their face, and then disappear.
Well, you can't disappear after you shoot them. You can only go to where you shoot the arrow.
No,
Well,
because
you
I
can
can
take a
teleport
bonus
30
action.
feet.
Yeah,
That's
the
a
bonus action is to shoot you're teleporting.
Oh.
Basically, it
not part of
doesn't
the
even need an
attack.
attack action. It is literally you are shooting. It requires a normal arrow.
Okay.
It expends an arrow. So the
What
limitation
season
on
did
how
you
many
pick?
times you can
What?
use it
What
is
season did you
your
pick?
arrows.
Winter. Fear?
Yeah, because my charisma bonus is 0.
Hmm.
If I had a charisma bonus, I would have taken something that they took charisma bonus fire damage, but mine's 0, so I'm not doing that. And honestly, I look like a mild-mannered monk, but I hit things with grenades. Fear is the appropriate reaction.
It's like, what's your hit things with grenades? It's
A
like,
teleporting, bow-wielding monk throwing grenades. Yeah, you probably should at least be concerned.
So, you gonna semi-teleport us out of there? Dimension door us out?
you start heading back down. Ting,
I can only do that one at a time.
ting.
I walk into the fruit
And
thing.
you see in there that he now has cracked one of the panels on one side, and little drops of light are dripping down.
Taste it.
It's not poisonous, but it is very bitter, and your mouth is like you can see light emanating from it. Like it colored your tongue, kind of thing. But
It's just ever so
But it's
slightly
light.
radioactive.
I go up to him. I go, "Hey, absinthe fruit.
okay.
That's what I'm calling your fruit because it gives such wonderful visions. Can I have some so I can hand it out to other people?"
Sure. And a couple just fall from behind him.
I pick them up and I put them in a pouch. I'm like, just so you know, I swallowed like 4, maybe 5 seeds. I'm gonna poop them in random places.
I appreciate it.
Hey man, good looking out.
No, are
Just branches go up.
Yeah, go on. It's just so you know, if you break this and run out of sunlight, you're going to be trapped down here in the dark with no light. You should probably not do that. You can't take it with you
Why not?
because you don't have pockets.
Plus, we're going.
When you're arguing with idiots, you don't have to make a good argument. You just have to make one that makes sense to them. He
I
doesn't
tried
have
to tell
pockets, no pants. You can't take it with you.
I tried to tell him.
Do you have any extra pockets I can borrow?
Not that much pocket. I mean, we could take you up to where there's sun, but it's in cycles. This is perpetual sunlight. Up there, day, night, you get like 12 hours of one, 12 hours of the other. You're kind of screwed.
You thinking? No? Okay. That was a thought. There's a face that looked like thinking. Apparently, nothing behind it.
No,
Okay.
just constipated.
No, that was me yawning without opening my mouth.
I appreciate it. He yawns like
so,
Yogi Bear.
Does Bushy want to come up to the surface world where all the people are at?
Only if I can get some of this.
It's up there, but it comes in cycles. It won't be constant like it is here. And if you break this,
There's
if
more
you stay
sun
here
outside.
and break this,
Yeah.
won't happen. Also,
If that's your
there's
word.
only so much spreading.
If that's his worry, there's more sun outside.
There's also only so much spreading I can do of your seeds. I mean, I've got some of your fruit, but you know how that works. 90% of them don't take. That's how that works, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you have to be up there to spread your seed.
I am assuming that none of you want him to take light, because presumably
He'll break something.
the solution for him taking light is very easy.
You know, a bucket.
Bucket, a vial, any sort of glass container, really. That
It's liquid, right?
No,
it is literally a liquid that is dripping out from there. You now
Is it
know.
just pulling on the ground.
Yeah, it's just pulling up on the ground. Yeah.
Adam, I don't want him taking it because this is going to be a research center for my church, and that would be diminishing the value of the research center.
I can cast dancing lights and say, "Here, you can take this with you."
Yeah, that is not sunlight.
No.
He's aware that's not food.
Well, I can go get him a bucket.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. The whole thing
Buckets.
being water.
You know where there's a whole bunch of vials.
Oh yeah, if someone brings up, it's like
Is-
he wants to take some of the liquid sunlight. Well, here's a vial.
Yeah, you can fill one out. Also, if you sit there long enough for it to fill up, you realize that this glass panels are in quadrants, and it is basically taking about a 3-foot section of it, and it is draining that.
Also,
And all
I
of the rest
climb
of
up.
it is its own separate things. Also, at this point, it's broken, and eventually that light will all be on the
Oh,
floor.
no, fabricate.
I was gonna say,
As
I
soon as
go
we
up and
mending.
mend.
I
Yeah.
don't have mending.
I do. That's
I
what
have
I'm going with.
fabricate.
Yeah, men will do it. There's just a little line where it's a little bit lower, and there's a puddle of this light on the ground.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you could stop her up a vial, cord it around his neck, he will travel with you.
We should probably take some vials with us just in case.
It'll be a
How
light
many
for
do
us
you
in
want
dark
to fill up?
places.
How many can we fill up?
Can we
If
fill
you
it up
just
off the
fill up
ground?
this one,
Yeah, I take a pipette and suck it off the ground.
yeah, you can get half of one from what's on the ground.
That's fine. That's enough.
But yeah, it's like you could probably get 20 from just this one 3-foot section of what was 30 or 35-foot.
Man, if we ever fought vampires, that'd be hilarious.
It is sunlight. It is definitively sunlight.
Just smack him across the face with it.
Ha!
Just pull a Dresden and throw sunlight at them.
I mean,
Just
you-
once,
you-
though. Just
you-
once. Once
just
you do it once.
You know
Never
full
again.
well it now functions in your mouth. Literally his mouth is still glowing, and it will be for several hours.
But yeah, I'll take like.
And you just basically took a drop of it.
I'll take like 10 or 15 other glass vials that are just.
And then you just smash it. It's like,
No.
after
No, he basically he probably does like a drilled
Put a little hole.
controlled hole, and it's so one area is like half empty.
I'm taking empty vials from the laboratory.
Oh, you're not filling them up with this?
No,
Okay, yeah, easy.
it's like we can take one vial of sun.
Okay.
And
The
then
best part
the
is,
bush
now
gets
that I've
one.
figured out this stupid thing, I can start working on my book.
So now does Bushy want to go?
Yeah, if he has a vial of light, so that he never has to be without light.
I didn't want to leave you down here. We might not come back for a while.
Alright, come on up, I'll carry you.
All right.
But yeah, let's just break the wall and reform it. That's the easiest way to get in and out.
Druid's over there like, I'm a good influence.
And
just the instant
basically-
of approval.
do we want to
Do you just
sun
what?
flood or drill a hole, let it
Well,
drain
how
out?
many people can fit underneath the dome I made? All of us?
Like, oh, you mean underneath it? Yeah, you can all fit out there.
Yeah. So I just make an airlock.
Yeah, just basically stone shape around
Around the
there,
door.
and then open it up. You all take
Force field this morning, yeah.
4 bludgeoning damage as the weight of water just.
Is that magical?
I very specific.
No, it is the weight of water.
I specifically hide Bushy from the damage.
2 damage.
Yeah, it would be enough. He could live through it. Don't worry. But it's enough.
Yeah.
And then after that, it stops, and you can just
No,
sort
no,
of
no.
float your way up.
Bushy has perfect cover. I'm just saying. Friar Bushman.
But you make your way up to the top, out of the wizard's tower, and I went a little long just to make sure we got out.
To be fair, still, we're like 3 minutes from the 2-hour mark from when we actually started.
You're right. We should go back into the wizard tower. There's something.
We're out. We're ending.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Let's see, how long is it been? Make your cryptocurrency, of course.
Yes, of course.
How much you want to bet it's gonna be a 4?
10.
Oh, it was a 6. Technically better than average. What do you know?
I can't keep rolling all these 10s.
8.
Gotta stop sooner or later, right?
Is it today though?
Is it today? Ah, maybe.
As the thing runs away from you.
It doesn't want to roll another 10.
9.
Ooh, close.
Yep, you're right. You had to stop eventually. Join us next time for more. Bye.